Cowan.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to address the issue of universal basic income and to the 114,000 people that signed the petition. The government's response to this petition is the government does not believe a universal basic income is the best method to tackle the extraordinary situation resulting from COVID-19 because it does not target help to those who need it most, which is incorrect because it does, and it helps a myriad of other people. Like all those people that fell through the cracks and were excluded, like all the people who found themselves registering for universal credit with a 5-week wait time, like all those mothers on maternity leave. No one is left behind with UBI. That's the beauty of it. And it's not just for times of national crisis. I've supported basic income for years. I was the first MP to bring forward a debate in Westminster on the subject on the 14th of September 2016, which is shameful, as it's an idea that's been around since ancient Greece. This is not some new, hot, fashionable soundbite that's flavour of the month and will disappear overnight. From the philosophy of the Charter of the Forest in 1217, through Thomas More's Utopia in 1516, and Thomas Paine's Rights of Man in 1791, and even Richard Nixon in the 1960s US of A, the idea has been considered, and now its time has come. For it to be a true basic income, and not just another branch of welfare, it has to be unconditional or universal. It's not a handout, it is not charity, it is not a benefit. That way we streamline the administration and remove any stigma attached to it. Ideally, it would not be temporary either, because strictly speaking, temporary isn't unconditional. But there are questions that need answered, and that is why these pilot schemes are so important. And a UK-wide scheme would, even if it was only run for a short period, mean that we'd created a database of all recipients and bank details to pay the income. Currently, we don't have such things, and they would be very valuable going forward. Pilots have been run around the globe, and we learn from each one, and some of the lessons are worth repeating. UBI does not make people indolent. UBI reduces poor mental health. UBI empowers women. UBI recompenses unpaid carers, and UBI provides a platform for everyone, including those of a more creative leaning, to follow their dreams. And it's worth telling this true story one more time. There's a woman that worked in an accounts office, and she also did babysitting to make more money. But because she had 2 jobs, she never had time to focus on her dream of writing a book. On Christmas Day, the folks she babysat for gave her a cheque, equivalent to a year's salary, basically a basic income, with the understanding that she would dedicate a year to writing. She did. And Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. How many Harper Lees are there currently not getting the opportunity to fulfil their dreams? In Scotland, the Scottish Government provided £250,000 for a feasibility study, and that report suggested 4 pilots to be run covering 2 different structures of basic income. The pilots would run for 3 years and cost £186 million. But we can't run them until HMRC and DWP get on board, as we're not prepared to treat the participants like laboratory rats. We need to know that during the pilots and at their conclusion, the people taking part will be taken care of and not punished for not seeking welfare for 3 years. As always, the big question is how much do people get paid and how will we pay for it? Well, the pilots have been very specific incomes and we know their costs, but out with that on a national scale, estimates vary. But it will almost certainly be more than the existing welfare system. But we can offset that with a more progressive tax system, including land reform tax and enforcing payment for multinational conglomerates. There are many variations of this, but there's no hiding from the fact that people will have to pay more tax. But remember, those same people will also be receiving UBI. Run and funded properly, UBI can eliminate poverty. And remember, poverty is a big factor in addiction, poor health and crime. People's lives can be improved and society at large will benefit too. There will be cost savings in the NHS and the judicial system. Prior to COVID-19, the gig economy was seen as a driving force for UBI. Who knows what will be next? But when the world is changing and the workplace with it, with global warming, automation and pandemics becoming a factor in our very existence, we would do well to heed the words of William Beveridge when he wrote in 1942, "A revolutionary moment in the world's history is a time for revolutions, not for patching," which is exactly what we are doing with universal credit. From his report, Grew the Welfare State, which at the time we were told you can't afford that, and soon came the NHS, based on existing schemes already running in the Highlands of Scotland, and we were told you can't afford that. And now we're told about UBI, we can't afford that. In conclusion, I think the value to our society will be far higher than any cost we can attach to it. I would go so far as to say, in these uncertain times, we can't afford not to have a UBI.
Thank you.